Hello and welcome to the latest Crafty Simulations video and welcome to the latest piece of content. And today's episode I get a slight feeling of what it would be like to go for a spin cycle in a washing machine with the Lockheed Martin F22 Raptor. So, as the intro has said, I am today flying for you, or at least trying to fly, the Lockheed Martin F22A Raptor by Mach Studios. Now, I know, again, this is not really an aircraft I should really be featuring on the channel, because aviation, that's what I tend to cover. That's my thing. But in the previous video, I did feature what I would consider to be the greatest attack helicopter known to mankind. And I thought to myself, what is one of the greatest air-to-air fighters of all time? And there is quite a few aircraft that would fit that bill, but at the moment I would say the Lockheed Martin F22 Raptor is certainly up there. And also, there's some Raptors in the UK. As of this video being made right now, I believe there is, if not a squadron, then at least a good amount of F22 Raptors, and they are flying out of RAF Lakenheath, which I have forgotten exactly where it is, but anyway, it's in the UK. I've been there to take photos. Haven't seen any Raptors, but when I was there, but they are here as of this video being made. Now, originally, Raptors tend to fly into Lakenheath, use it as a base, and then move on to, shall we say, Middle Eastern operations. Although I don't know whether they've actually gone on operation, but it's just a look at us, we can get aircraft out to the Middle East. This time they've actually stayed at Lakenheath, so they're actually flying out of Lakenheath on a daily basis. So we have at the moment in Lakenheath the F-15E Strike Eagle, the F-35s and the F-22s, which I think is a frightening combination of aircraft. But we're not going to talk about the F-35s or the F-15s, we're here to look at Mach's F-22. And it is, it's just aggressive. This thing is just aggressive no matter which way you look at this thing. It is absolutely stonkingly it's a different way of designing an aircraft. And I'm thinking about the real ones, about the actual F-22 Raptor. Mach have done a really good job of creating this iconic piece of aviation. It's been around now for quite a while as the F-22. Now, as you can probably tell, due to the way it looks, this is a stealth fighter. This aircraft can defeat radar. Its radar cross-section has been described as less than a golf ball. Now, what I mean by cross-section is the reflection, the return that an object gives when a radar beam hits it. So an enemy radar hits the aircraft with its radar, the radar then the aircraft reflects the radar image back to the receiver, and that is how radars, in a rough sense, tend to work. So they look. In the F-22's case, all these angles and weird composite materials that are top secret don't reflect the radar image back to the receiver. They reflect them just about anywhere. They deflect them, they're not reflecting them. So you end up with an aircraft with a cross-section of basically a bumblebee has been mentioned. This thing is really, really hard to look at with a radar. And also, while we're back here, actually, another part of the F-22's brilliant skill set is these things here, these incredibly powerful engines. Now, they are called thrust vectoring engines. They actually, nozzles go up and down, and they can go up and down together or up and down individually. And this means that the F-22 Raptor can do maneuvers that are just absolutely unheard of. It brings a whole new level to dogfighting. Now, the F-22 was developed at the end of the Cold War. I believe it was the Advanced Tactical Fighter Program. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was the Advanced Fighter Program. And basically was designed to be a replacement for the F-15 in the air superiority role. Sorry, the Americans call it air superiority role even. And yes, the F-22 is better than that. Now, the F-22 is incredibly expensive compared to an F-15. And it came out of the Cold War being technically one of the best, if not the best, fighters of any generation, of any nation. Now, because it is a stealth plane, you might be wondering, and it's a fighter, Where is it? If I just walked into one of those things. Where is its weapons? Well, its weapons are actually stored internally. Every single weapon, offensive weapon, is stored in one of these. We have 2 weapons bays, well, technically 3 weapons bays. We have 1 weapon bay here, 1 on the opposite side. These hold, I think it is 1 AIM-9 Sidewinder X, I think is the technical term for it, but an advanced short-range missile. And then we have underneath the main weapons bay, which is where the AIM-260s, I think it is, for the Raptor, but we have many options for hiding missiles, because if you start putting stores on the wings like they normally would, it tends to defeat the stealth, because the radar will see the missiles on the wings. We do have the ability to carry fuel tanks under the wings. Again, that defeats the point of stealth, but that would be used for the F-22 for its transport role when it's been transported from America to, in this case, Europe. So Top Mach have done a really good job with this thing. It's really absolutely epic, and I love it. I'm having quite a lot of fun with this thing. Great sound effects, and it's a little tricky to fly, a little tricky to land and all that sort of stuff, but it is fun. And if I don't fancy flying general aviation, I do tend to skip up a little bit and move over to the F-22. So in the next part of the video, I will show you the inside of the cockpit, and we shall move on to the flying portion of this video. So, welcome to the inside of an F22 Raptor. Now, before I get onto this, before I go into this, you may hear a little bit of humming sound in the video, and that's because currently of making this video, it is 98,000 degrees in here, so I have had to have an extra fan to try and keep me cool and the computer cool. So if you can hear a fan, that's all it is, just a little bit of air conditioning for myself. Right, moving on to the cockpit of the F-22. Now, obviously, it is a current generation stealth aircraft. I don't expect this to be realistically represented particularly well, but it is, what again is very important to me, believable. So we have multi-screens, and obviously we do love a good multi-screen here. We get 4 of them for different operations. And we get a few smatterings of buttons, and obviously a stick that is over that side. Click that to get rid of it, and various different bits and pieces for ourselves to click on. But yes, this is basically the cockpit area of the F-22, and it is, I think, like I say, it is a believable cockpit. So I will now try and desperately work out how it is I'm going to start this thing up. It's a little bit different than a Piper Cub, or Piper anything really. So yes, stay tuned, and I shall come back and try and actually start this thing. So let's get this bird up and running. It is actually quite simple, weirdly. So we've got this rather unique cover removed before flight, and we can remove that. So we'll turn the APU on first of all. And we do get some rather realistic sounds. Now that is just the onboard APU up and running. And as you can see, the APU door is now up, and we're chucking hot air out of the bottom of the APU exhaust. And have we assumed the position for takeoff with our controls in the "oh, I'm in a very aggressive" look. Right, so we shall now turn on a battery. And if I remember correctly, and this is a really tricky thing to work out, I can never work it out which one it is. Come on. That's main doors. It's on one of these screens. I'm looking an idiot. Oh, come on. Control, that's what I wanted. Well, I presume it says control. Starting these things, I mean, it's so much easier when you've got a mixture and a prop lever, but not in an F-22. Right, clear left start. Ooh, you thought the Apache sounded good. Oh, maybe F22 sounds better. Systems coming online. Turn this up. Hopefully you can hear this. There we go. Now the engine's turning and burning. Baby, baby. Sound of power and freedom. And we're into repeat for the second one. Get the lovely heat effect out the back end of this thing now. Second engine's coming online. There we go. Now, if you remember, I spoke about the weapons bays, which we can show off. I do remember that. He says. There we go. Main doors. This is where the air-to-air missiles, ordnance are deployed. I do believe the F-22 can deploy laser-guided weapons. I'm sure it has, but it is designed as an air superiority fighter. So we have sidewinder, stroke, short-range weapons in this single base, and then we have our main M260s carried in the internal underslung weapons bay. We also have our ECW, countermeasures even, bays for our chaff and flare. Again, on both sides of the aircraft. So we shut them up, shut that. If I remember where it is. I tell you, I love this thing. I absolutely love it to pieces. Right, so we'll have that set to main. Have that on HSI, shall we? No, let's have that on fuel. Let's face it, it's the one thing I'm going to run out of. So, the injection seat needs to be armed. So I think we are ready to rock and roll here at RAF Lakenheath in an F22 Raptor. What could possibly go wrong? Obviously going to have to worry about this piece of ground equipment. We'll ignore that. So the F-22 was developed at a time when pretty much money was not an option for the United States. It was designed to be the best a fighter could ever be against, shall I say, opposing nations. However, it turned out that the F-22 was an incredible expense, and therefore not many of them have actually been made. There will not be any aircraft made anymore. There will not be any sold to any other nations, any friendly nations, that is. And in fact, the United States has gone down a different route in now that it is trying to buy and develop the F-15EX, I believe it is, to be the next generation of air superiority fighter. Obviously, the F-22 will still be kept in service. It is a very capable aircraft. But cost, as always comes down to how much you're willing to put into it. And the F-22 project has been incredibly expensive. There was a fight-off between two projects, the YF22 and the YF23 Black Widow. Now, rumour has it the YF23 was technically a better aircraft, but for some reason we ended up with the F22, and that's the one we got today. The YF23 never flew any more than the test aircraft, and is now, I do believe, in museums. Now, if you just look over there, the part of this scenery, this is a payware scenery for Lakenheath. Over there is one of the aircraft spotting areas. It's offside of the base. I have been there. Lovely cheeseburger stall, I think you'll just see just over there. That's a cheeseburger van. Brilliant burgers. You ever get a chance to visit Lakenheath, that's the place to go to. Lots of action and lots of fast jets. And like I say, now F22s. So let's get rolling out to the runway. So, the ejector seat handle is set. Have landing lights on, I suppose technically. Everything's set. Avionics set. Kick the tyres and let's light the fires. Coming off parking brakes, sitting on the wheel brakes, run well. And let's roll. Kicking in the burners, and boy, there's the airspeed kicking in. 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, we're rotating. Gear coming up, coming out of burners. Passing 300. And let's climb for the stars. .50 nose up, burners kicked in, and we're still increasing speed. That is not what a Cessna does. $8,000 and $9,000, $10,000, rolling out. Knots, 17,000 feet. The F-22's party piece. Absolutely incredible piece of technology. Never had the chance to see one in real life. Vastly manoeuvrable. This aircraft is just capable of so much. I mean, obviously, the real F-22 is obviously a very much top secret aircraft. I don't expect Top Mach to get everything right, but I go back to that magical word of believable, and that's what this aircraft is. It is believable. we're going to have to do is turn on, I've forgotten, my little Navmap, because I'm not going to have an understand where I'm going at the moment. So I do apologise for that little pop-up. We do actually have a navigation map of sorts underneath us here in the main NFD. Descent, and we're going to head back towards Lakenheath, which I think is back somewhere over that way. We do have RF Marham, home of the Royal Air Forces and Royal Navy's F-35 squadrons. Question is, do I do a video on the F-35? We're doing the F-22, so I might as well do the F-35, so you can look forward to that at some point. Like I said earlier, the F-22 had a fight-off between the YF-23. Now, it was a YF-23 because it wasn't, it was the tech demo of the aircraft. This was the YF-22. And the F-22 won, although a lot of people did say that the YF-23 did offer more in the way of weapons, avionics, fuel saving, bigger missions. But the YF-22 was selected to be the United States Air Force's next generation tactical fighter as a replacement for the F-15C and the F-16 in the fighter role. As we have today, the F-15 is still here in the E variant, which is the Mudslinger ground attack version, also capable of defending itself with air-to-air ordnance. And weirdly, like I say, the F-15EX, I think it is the next generation that has been developed as a less expensive but equally deadly aircraft, not stealth equipped aircraft, but having the same engines, I believe, basically as an F-22. And the ability to launch the AIM-260 air-to-air missile and future air-to-air missiles. We're coming for a low, sort of high-speed pass. Now the F-22, along with its stealth capabilities and obviously internal weapon storage, is capable of flying Mach 2 with its afterburners lit, but it is also equipped with the ability to fly in supercruise. And supercruise is the ability to fly supersonic without the use of an afterburner. This therefore allowing the F-22 to get to the danger zone with fuel not being burnt. Obviously an afterburner absolutely rips through your fuel. The supercruise allowing you to fly supersonic just over Mach 1 without the use or need of an afterburner. Kick it up to 75% throttle. 370, 380, 390, there's 400, 410, 420, 430, 440, it'll carry on going up. Nice and stable platform. There's 480, there's 500. So right next to RAF Lakenheath, where is it? There we go, is RAF Mildenhall, home of the United States Air Force's tankers, their Osprey helicopters, their C-130 Herculeses, and all big transports for the United States Air Force for anything going on in Europe. Like I said, you can visit RAF Lakenheath on the outside, obviously, and take photos. It's a lovely place. Like I say, great cheeseburger stand. Same with Mildenhall, actually. There's a campsite. I think the cost was £1. I think it was £1 or £2. And you get access to the campsite, which is, again, on the outside of the base. But you are very close to the runway, and you do get to see some KC-135s, C-130s, all the big heavy stuff. It's a wonderful place to go if you're a bit of aircraft spotting. So we are getting buffeted around here by the wind, I think, and turbulence. But it is a relatively stable aircraft. I'm flying with my thrustmaster stick and weirdly my honeycomb throttle, and it's absolutely fine. Here coming down. Down. Inside about 10 o'clock. Slipping in onto finals. liftoff landing. Still only landing you get to walk away from. Very good brakes, definitely in the F22. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Top Mac's F22 Raptor. If you're into, well, if you want to get your kicks out of going at 500 knots plus with your hair on fire, I don't think there's a better aircraft. So, I will put a link in the video for the description even for the aircraft. I will put a link in for that and a link in for the scenery if you're interested. If you've got any questions or comments, please bang them below. And I will see you in a future Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 video very, very soon.